All we are checking here is everything pertaining to just the safety and the security of the driver.
This is a test of the man and the machine, and what we are hearing from people is that they are all raring to go.
I'm looking to enjoy the rally and not really thinking of the 7th day.
It requires a lot of preparation not only for the vehicle but also for you mentally, physically.
The car is obviously going to take more heat strain. It's at least 4 to 5 degrees plus than it is on the usual time of Desert Storm.
Every passing year, this is known to be one of the toughest events in the country, and it's basically a combination of both man and machine. If you have a very well prepared vehicle, and obviously there's a lot of stamina which is required throughout the event.
You have to have a passion for speed and the thrill of going over all kinds of terrain, sand, rocks, deep sand, getting out of it, keeping your momentum.
Well, we're a bunch of crazy wild people who are extremely passionate about motorsports, off-roading and car. And the biggest event, the biggest desert event called the Desert Storm is an event that none of us would miss.
Come to such a rally called Desert Storm, which is somewhere in the month of April in temperatures like 40s. So I think you need to liquidate yourself a lot, not in terms of liquor I say, but then a lot of juices when you're back home.
Sometimes you will have long stretches, and suddenly you will be, after one turn, you take a sharp right and you are in that boggy doom desert. When you are doing these speeds in this kind of a terrain, you tend to go over bumps harder than you thought you would.
I don't feel like getting stuck into the sand and pulling out. That's no fun. But then this is part of the game. This is Desert Storm, so.
You have to judge your line so well that last minute reactions, you don't have to brake immediately, because the bike, when you cut momentum on the bike kind of digs in and it gets stuck.
You just have to hold that gas on. In the sand, it's important to commit fully, and once you have that throttle on, you just have to see it through.
Very, very hot. The cabin temperature is going almost close to 60 to 65 degrees because I think the outside temperature close to at 40 to 45 degrees.
Then you have to wear your helmets. There's no time to wipe your sweat, which is going into your eyes.
When I have my rally jacket and I'm sitting and waiting for the start, you're just pretty much sweating.
When you're riding, you don't really feel hot because there's wind coming into you.
As soon as you stop or you fall, that is when you're trying to lift the bike and you start feeling the heat.
In this heat, it is tough on all three aspects, the service crew, the vehicle and the competitors.
Heating issue was there because of the temperature. It was so hot, the cars were getting heated up very quickly.
The initial 92 kilometers, we basically try to go a little cautious, and the rest 90 we pushed a little bit.
We plan if it's a duny sands and dunes, we don't go to push the car because then you're hitting the rev limiter constantly and then the engine might blow up.
That 180 stage was a killer. I wanted to ask the organizers for a refund on my entry fee for doing that to us. But I guess that's part of the game.
I try and push the whole stage. Obviously you can't. Sometimes the energy gets sapped.
So I was looking at 90 plus 90 because we were getting a service break after 90. But that 90 kilometer at a stretch is also, it's extremely challenging.
We would have run close to about maybe
5 to 7,000 kilometers in that area to come out with that 186 kilometer stage. And those 7,000 kilometers would have made officials run for days, all around that area.
Car probably goes 10 times more than what we go through physically because of the unforgiving conditions here. We have to conserve the car, the tires, the suspension takes a beating.
After every stage, we always have a service backup, and we ensure that we personally work on the service of the vehicle.
Cars tend to heat up very fast, so we have to be very careful that the cooling system of the car is proper.
During the end of the day when you check into your hotel, the service guys take their own time because we have a free service, and we get enough time to basically get the car ready.
Night it becomes totally different, because the instructions giving on road book is very difficult to follow unless you have other helping devices like GPS and trapeze.
We did the same stage in night as well as day. In day, it was like, okay, fine, piece of cake. In night, it was like, where the hell am I?
So it's really difficult and you have to be right on the track. If you veer somewhere, you might get stuck, you might get into some pit or something.
You can't go as fast as you can in the morning, so the pace is going to drop.
It's extremely difficult to even judge. There is a turn ahead and you will offshoot a lot.
Your mental caution level is much more higher at the night, so what you tend to be more careful. I like night stages very much because it's like a video game. You can only see so much.
It's a very ethereal experience driving in the night through these lovely terrains.
Without navigation, you're zero.
But right smack in the middle of nowhere with no tracks, you have to go by your gut and of course your navigation equipment.
I've done a lot of navigational rallies before, but then desert seems to be a little more tougher than the other rallies.
The moment you look at your GPS, the turn has come, so sometimes you offshoot, and I offshot a lot.
Sometimes I've missed it and then it just upsets my whole rhythm for the next couple of kilometers, so I've tried to slow down my pace and try and get my markers.
You have to make your own road because you're probably the first car or the second car. That's really challenging because that's when you lose time.
As a navigator, it's my job to ensure that we're going on the right path. Getting stranded in a desert is the worst possible nightmare you can think of.
How is my car behaving? How am I personally coping up? How is my navigation sounding? Because this event is just not about flat out driving. It's a lot about staying on the right track.
Desert is totally unforgiving. Once you lose the track, you're gone. You have no idea where to go back. So keeping that in mind, you don't have to get lost. You have to keep the track of the trail and obviously save your vehicle.
From the very beginning, you have to keep on telling yourself every time you want to, press the pedal to the metal, you want to say no, wait.
Strategy was to basically do your full, strategy on the track itself, pace up your car, and depends how you are basically negotiating the entire route.
It's extremely fascinating and intriguing at the same time, to go through these barren patches and suddenly you come up in front of these beautiful dunes.
We see the beautiful beauty of the place only in the transport section where it is mandatory we cannot exceed more than 80 kilometers an hour.
We tend to look at it a little bit, not too much, because then we get carried away. So we just look at it once in a while and then we say, wow, we'll come back here, but we never come back unless it's the next Desert Storm.
It fascinates us so much that it brings us back every year, right from the, as I mentioned, right from the first desert till today. I've done all of them.
The most fascinating thing is the more desolate and the more dry the area is, the more colorful the people are,
When I came here and got into the first competitive stage, I was like overwhelmed. Nothing ever really prepares you for this kind of arduous challenge.
So, I mean, now I'm a pro. I can say I can recognize the soft sand and the hard sand.
You get to go places where you normally don't get to go, and you get to do speeds which you normally cannot do otherwise.
Someone would say that Desert Storm is going to be sand, sand, sand and sand, but no, it had hills, it had downs, it had huge rocks, pebbles, whatnot. So it was a combination and package of everything.
It's what you would expect in a cross-country rally. I think it has great potential. As of now, I think the organizers are now catering to the more Indian drivers and riders, but if they want to scale it up, they definitely can. The terrain definitely has the challenges. So I'm hoping that in my career that I'll get to see an international event here.